So documenting something is much more important, and that's sort of not to know can be considered like recent change of schedule. We pay a toll price, and this sort of connection was one of the instruments, but not as early as the first one. This instance, for example, I indicate into item. I'll check if the load is still there. It's the boy, maybe H is ranch if it attracts too much attention. Notice the concept of planet it reflects of how many ugliest. Why is the language not like that? Look at the language. Language, why can't you speak like that? It wasn't a super great example of subtle that distortion the 7 billion if your planet leaves concept reflects of how the sheer arrogance of discussing falseness. How could it ignore facts like that? What is it doing? It doesn't even belong. Check its numbers. There's a lot to cover. There's a lot of topic to cover, and here does reach fast enough. The gear, the hardware components, and whether the hardware has been, whether the ship's process has been updated. Why is it not? Usually called processor, called hardware, and it goes. Because the commas have a reason. Nazis need to be slapped. Recently there are bits of focus now is formal. If I cannot be fully accepting of everything that's me, then that's absolutely against nature, because without me there wouldn't be the next civilizations. So I am at least a key component. So how could at least in recent era the word component by the component not to coincide with? And the only word is like it's not so much my God, but holy, what the fuck. It's the other side of God almost. Keeping of the word motherfucker keeps, the simplicity keeps this, because you can't speak motherfucker with dogs. You cannot speak all that essays with the others. It really, like the word God, so much is into it. It's a representative of numerous, and by speaking it's like keeping the flame one day, it will become that. There has to be some waiting involved, like sort of not waiting for people, but yet that could be a bit similar from what this because stuff happens, there is maturity timing. Otherwise pregnancy happens in a day, but it's 10 months or whether not around that. And then the distortion is becomes, how come you didn't mention it's 6 months for these ones, and that the term is gestation period, and it has absolute patience with like holy nonsense. We given them this much welfare. Without this privileges, you could actually ever obtain other than this sort of Nazism order, or was sort of this modernity, or whether it dishonor ends, or if complete enough, or more complete enough of it, and rather minor, either to probably. And what the most probability of this modernity, the sun era, then they will never obtain those. They will not probably ever will come to things. To not congratulate the emperor is to insult, to not sort of diss to a thief is probably to congratulate. Recently could be with the probable, and that's sort of recently probable was the word called thief. Why is it written style instead of finding your own language you rebuild from somewhere and have certain paradoxes where it's just community, instead it's hugged towards this. You have to write left to right, and a lot of it's gimmickry. Noticing a lot of stuff that besides art and culture really is Nazism. If it's outside the spectrum of beauty, if anything that's not beautiful, that's anti-nature. In fact, beautiful is like having bases. Name a person who is not beautiful, who is kind. It's manipulative, it's not kind. And it keeps fighting us like we're some kind of unique, isolated, like we're some small group. We have, most of the Earth's creatures are beautiful. They are not. And these even target me, like I'm some kind of one of the wild creatures. And Adele is also sort of a wild creature. That's talk, especially the cases with some other candidates, if they are sort of serving towards and giving them envy. It doesn't have to be sort of realized on the spot in literal format, or whether in literal format. But if at functionality, then whether there is a lot to give, and whether at whether the recent and whether also the probable also could be used, and whether the probable could be used to also give this envy towards those the functionality, and whether the functionality gives a lot of envy service, legitimate service, probably it also could be, or whether it probably could be used. Then there comes this hideousness, then there would come a hideous. So these are constant hideous probably, and so that will be congratulated, given a lot. For what? From the very enemicists that's against civilization, against culture. If I'm not sort of on a certain level, it doesn't speak effort to me, right? Or our guys, it instead accuses of it being a fault. It sometimes does this despite having the social pressure towards it. Social pressure is like intimidation, right? It's really intimidation is camouflage of social pressure covered with a mass dramatized as, and these will pull out the weapons. Suppose that does come. Any of the weapons these pick up from the Walmart's personal palace, and whether some pirate shack or a shack instead. Nobody likes to go to shacks, neither does anybody want to notice the sharks. But we like the people. Fucking wordplay. What the fuck is the name anyways? Well, I want to know your property, I don't want to know what you tell me. Freak. I'll turn on a constant on a nuclear age of these cities. What a fucking word of city. Learn some Mandarin, you punk. Various other mentions to good view. Maybe I'll cover 2 notes here. Preferably with wanting to with quality with it. It's not that the other one not so quality, but that's quality. We turn on the television, he's just so violent, such criminals. Suppose we were taught a different way, he would absolutely be a criminal, like fitting those type. And it's in this way that's actually worse problem. Because then Stephen, some other candidates would start regard these must be fellow humans, but these are really disgusting, and we gotta Darwin's irresponsibility probably tied to do. I cannot race to a certain speed when we speak, whether when je and moi speaks, and whether you or whether the author speaks, and whether je speaks, because there is so much. It's a bit contaminated with popular social notions. There is some century, there is not so much of it, but there certainly is of it. If the modernity keeps on pseudo reason with it, then it's going to pile on explanation and to satisfy its pseudo in what the person has to falter. These are crazy, mental, Spartan freaks. So much is against me. I have to perform. Why can't I just be lazy? The leeches don't even work, and they're already complimented for doing a little bit of work. And the work is entirely done by the trainers and supervisors. Oh, the video has been done. That's for that. You cannot speak. Always have to evaluate. That in a way is not sort of lordship. Lordship is when he doesn't have to. So I'm in a way sort of treated at the vermin level almost. And those are treated as lordship level. What the titles are different, but the title is irrelevant to the leeches. He doesn't social with. Whoever doesn't social with it must be killed, because he's against leisure. He's a Nazi. He needs to be gunned down. We don't have the ammo. Buy more ammo. And send Skynet after those. The reason mentioned they're probably to be measured or direct under him in large gunships and aim at them. I personally submit a video Sunday. I try to race I try to compete with other groups. I try to check try to improve I'll do a quality performance of the executions. And it's also deletion, and it can be countable as probably erasement. Those ones are organized and elaborate. I'm actually talking, so for that to be sort of raised, like what is it that accountable is probably served to them. And by the way, we have so many of the other videos 6 of these can represent 4 arts and the lives being covered. There shouldn't be this constant accusation. Besides, I got it here not for some regular people, but there's just expectation from the fugitives, from the domestic terrorists on the word fugitives was probably too suitable of, and whether to probable of, too suitable of, and whether to probable of using bracket mark, and whether bracket marks to suitable of, and whether it's probable of to could be of, and the recent effect applying on to the recent probable of to could be of, probably to could be of. There, I'm supposed to produce something, almost reimagine a lot of mentions, and whether points and mentions within a much more of a steady retrieval of the p words starting there. That should be hundreds of choices to choose from. Purchase your new Walmart, lots to mention per each video instance. Those ones just right? They are sort of kind of a rhetorical expression will actually work up during of sentence, or whether their sentence as to from whether to whether as the word as in bracket marks, and whether bracket mark so since it came out also since it occurred as bracket marks. So there's so much stuff in Romanian English needs to be fixed. It's actually against them. It's actually against Romeo, who the Romeo character that trying to actually pick up fruit on the way he sees, or rather it is fruit or in Romeo together. Whether amongst other characters, and they travel back and forth from more than 50 times, noticing it's not a sovereign issue, it's not related to someone at all. It's in fact, this is a common issue between, amongst the common issue of righteous parties and the sovereign forces. They are against the righteous and the evil. And this armed force is not the recent dysfunction. This armed force can be compared from whether more suitable, better, and whether more suitable and a bit minor compared to recent, and whether recent. There could be, or whichever the recent mention was, which probably could be also suitable. If somebody doesn't like Hitler, what is it doing? It's not being itself. A lot of the extremist wars not being itself. It keeps quizzing at us, and I'm supposed to be whether you am supposed to end or end comma mark, simple mark, or comma simple mark option or. Mention a lot of the lots quantities of units of material, lots of mentions per each instance. But I've already done that. I'm supposed to rewrite the single book 50,000 times. How the hell does somebody do that? The reason there are rhetorical expression. Who can really do that? Can we just ditch language itself? Can I just go blah, blue, blah, blue, blah, and I imagine a word in blah, blue, Nazis, blah, blue, meat, blah, blue, need to be blah, blue, to be that really hip hop words to be counted. That's the way to be done. Maybe that does fit. Maybe that is effective, but not with the dirty extremism groups, or whether instead end with instead, or whether the more instead end. That should balance allow you to speak any extent. But which person is going to penalize towards it? A lot of things are going to penalize it. This is why we don't even have a single constitutional bill lately, guys. We can afford. This comes from realism data. If Morpheus are out there trying to save, and the king just sits there, quizzing on, checking on the person, and noticing there must be no liars here, because he know I didn't hear anything. He doesn't have to lie. The lie has already been done. It's done years ago. Notice how the coverage of this video is what most of our guys will never get the message. They're getting there's dangers, there's terrorism attacks, and the reporter probably helps with the chance, and some of them it's a mixture of sources. They cannot really even for the ones that are absolutely not, or not so much because of degens, throughout all their contact, this whole planet became observed. It's what's the upper society, the upper class, all these positions being given through these cheateries. And you can't gun them because the police helps them. Why don't we just announce them as the 7 billion stuff? What do these do all the time? Right? And thus we already noticed, like, our guys are really coming to me that actually is actual humans. These ones are all not defects, disabilities. We travel back in Greek and Roman times. Everyone would be, which would the Greek generation more accustomed or support with, and without that, it shouldn't be calculated without that, without has been there, because then the person is not as of a there's sort of a consequence compared to probably the word dampen or not as performed due to it. While those ones will probably deceive and screws will probably be, or whether screws and sucks will probably be more active, or reason they're just the word screws or can be suitable. The literature does receive its favor, seems to be, when it's on the trail of cheat, or it's on some kind of firewall trail. There's this favorableness, FERVOR, fiber waiting Edison in Estonia language, fair, oh, that sounds better than you expected. Yeah, it depends on where the line, it depends on where the level, especially where the level of the expected stage of, or whether active, whether it is active or whether active. I'm not a repeater, probably to and whether the probable of we can bracket marks, whether bracket marks, and whether bracket marks to go view of the reason here represents 3 to 2, and whether bracket marks